truth is, men typically show you who they are up front. And it's up to us to determine if this is the man we want to lead us. Ladies, let's choose wisely. Let's choose through the lens of, is this a man I can build a strong, solid future with? Welcome back to Before You Do with Verlyn. I'm your favorite premarital coach and the auntie you didn't know you needed. And I am so glad to be back in the studio. I have recently been overcoming a health challenge. Okay. It has given me lots of time to think and sit in quiet and do a lot of contemplation about relationships, marriages, and choosing. And here's the thing, how you choose in terms of who you will be in relationship with, who your spouse will be, should not be based on how great and how perfect things are right now. Okay. And I say this because the truth about your relationship is not about or doesn't show up when things are working out, when everything's lovely and everything is going according to the way that you planned it and the sun is shining and all of that good stuff, right? The truth of your relationship or the character of the person that you're with shows up when things do not work out according to plan. When the challenges show up, whether it's health challenges, financial challenges, whatever those challenges may be, all right? The truth shows up when one person can only give 10% and the other person has to still give 100%. That's when you find out what a person is made of. And so while I've been pretty much literally down, I got to see how my husband stepped up. We've been married almost 20 years. I have never had any health challenges. The only time I have been in the hospital was to have children. Had the children, came home, and that was it. But during this time, to be in a position where I was literally in the bed, not able to do anything at all, and to see how my husband showed up in those moments, how he had to still give 100%, even when I only had 2%. Okay. And it got me really thinking about how we choose, because it's easy for people to be there with us when we're all winning, right? We're all doing the things we want to do or doing the things we love to do, when there are no challenges, when all the bills are paid, when everyone's good and healthy. But how is that person going to show up for you in the event you are in the bed? How is that person going to show up for you in the event you don't have a lot to give and they have to not only carry themselves, but carry you? Sometimes we don't think about that. We meet, we like somebody, we fall in love, and all of those feelings give us those dopamine hits, and we can't get enough of them, and we feel this euphoria, and all we see in the future is what we see today. The good feelings, the dating, the butterflies, okay? All of the excitement we feel when he comes around, all the excitement we feel when we get that text and that good morning, beautiful, and all of that, right? But dealing with this health challenge caused me to take a step back. And I said, as soon as I get back in front of this microphone, we're going to have some talks about choosing wisely, choosing with the future in mind, and choosing understanding that we need to see how people show up when things are not perfect in our lives. And that takes time. That's why I'm definitely not an advocate for that whole, oh, we met and fell in love and we got married the next week or the next month. We need to see how people operate when there are challenges. We need to see how people operate when things are not going the way that they want them to go, when they don't get the easy yes, okay? Lots of times as women, We say, oh, he looks good. He's so tall. He makes me feel special. He makes me laugh because he has such a great sense of humor. He's so good to me. And I get that. Ladies, I truly get that. Who wants to be around somebody that doesn't make you feel good, that doesn't make you feel special? We want all of these feelings. However, we have to take moments to think deeper, all right? You have to think years down the line. And not only do you look at the man, but if you want to get a good sense of his, what I call stickability, that means when things are going haywire, can he hang in there? Look and see how his father is. Look and see how his grandfather is. Look and see how the men in his life move. Are they people that have been sound and strong and dependable? These are things that you need to know. These are things you need to question, you need to look at, all right? Will this man that you're looking at today that's so handsome, so fine, so tall, is he going to make a good father? Is he the type of man you want to have a son with and you would want your son to imitate? Think about these things. They are so important. Is he the type of man that you want your daughter to marry? So if you have children already, think about it. Is he a kind of man that you want to mentor your son? Is he the type of man you can trust around your daughter? We have to get past the physical and we have to get past the emotional and we have to start using some real discernment. We have to start looking beyond what our natural eyes can see and see into the character and the heart of a man. We have to choose better. Is he a man that you can depend on? Should your health fail, will he be there for you? Now, let me say this. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed, all right? However, we should be able to get a sense of a person, right? You should definitely, again, be looking at the men in his family. You should be able to discern when stuff happens, when you're out. If you get a flat tire, does he fly off the handle? If the waiter brings the wrong meal, or let's say even if the waiter has an attitude, how does he respond? Is he a man of peace? Or is he ready to, go to battle over things that are not battle worthy or not warranted? Did his parents stay married? What about his grandparents? These are things that we have to examine. You have to see, how does he respond under pressure? I got to see my husband in a very different way when I was really down, how he had to pick up the ball with the children, how he had to pick up the ball with things around the house, how he had to get me back and forth to appointments. I got to see something I had never seen before because, of course, I've never had any health challenges. All right. How does the man that you're dating respond under pressure? This is really important. And that's because recently I've been talking about submission, or I've had guests talking about submission. And I get so much pushback because women are talking so badly about the men that they are with. Well, he doesn't respect me. He doesn't do this. He's not worthy of submission. I mean, the list goes on and on. And I've been like, wow. So are you saying you got with somebody whose leadership you weren't willing to submit to? So ladies, think about it. Is his leadership one that you are willing to submit to, or to cooperate with, or to build with? Do you trust his judgment? If you're saying, well, shoot, the stuff he does, he this and he doesn't know how to, well, why are you with him? Why did you choose him? Well, because he looked good, he made you feel good, and he made you laugh. That's not enough. If he is not a leader that you can follow, if his leadership doesn't warrant that you will submit to, you have to rethink your choice. You have to be able to trust a man's judgment in order to submit. These are things we have to consider when choosing. We have to stop choosing from our emotions, and we have to stop choosing from today. meaning right now, not thinking about the fact that you're going to build a home with this person. You're going to build a life. You're going to build children. Possibly you're going to build businesses. You're going to build a future with this man. You have to do more than have fun. You have to do more than laugh. You have to make sure he's solid. You have to make sure that he is the type of man that will be there for you when you are unable to do the things that you may need to do or you usually do as a wife. Can he pick up the slack? Will he pick up the slack? These are things we have to consider. When we make choices that only suit our fancy or tickle our fancy in the moment, those poor choices will catch up. Let me say it again. If you make poor choices now, those poor choices will catch up with you in the future when it really counts. All right? I'm not saying that the only way that a man is qualified to be a leader is that they take care of you when you're sick or having a health challenge or anything like that. What I am saying is there is a whole lot more to consider outside of how a man looks, how he dresses, how good he smells, how funny he is, and even his resources. Resources matter, but resources coupled with character, that is the thing I am talking about. How does his character measure up? All right. When I was experiencing my health challenge, my husband showed me who he was. He took care of me. He stood by me. He made sure I rested. He made sure I did not have to deal with anything in the home between him and my teenagers. They made sure that I could rest and focus on getting better. He made sure our home ran as well as it could be with me being down. And, he took me back and forth to appointments. He showed his love through his actions. Again, he showed his love through his actions. And that, ladies, that is what we're looking for. We don't have to be told every day, I love you, I love you. We should not think that someone has to prove love by sending flowers and candies and all those things we've been programmed to think means love, all right? No, love shows up in patience, in kindness. Love shows up in loyalty. Love shows up in protection. Love shows up in leadership. A man will only lead someone that he loves. A man builds with women that they love. A man will have a family with a woman that he loves. And so we must make sure that we are choosing a man that we are willing to submit to, a man that we are willing to trust, a man that we are willing to let be the man. And we not feel that we have to usurp authority or make him prove something in a certain kind of way because this is what we've been programmed to think manhood or leadership or love looks like. Again, it all boils down to choosing wisely, to choosing better, to choosing from a place of future, right? Versus choosing from how do I feel today? I cannot tell you how many coaching conversations I've had where women are talking about what the man is doing and the things that they're displeased with. The first question I ask is, did he do this when you were dating? Or was he not doing this when you were dating? And a lot of times the answer is yes. What does that mean? The cold, hard truth is men typically show you who they are up front. And it's up to us to determine if this is the man we want to lead us. Ladies, let's choose wisely. Let's choose through the lens of is this a man I can build a strong, solid future with? And if that is a yes, you're good. If that's a I don't know, you better rethink that. And if it's a no, you definitely better rethink that. We must make better choices. Thank you for joining me. I'm in the process of putting together some containers, okay, for women who feel like they're not being seen or not noticed. I got you. All right. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please make sure you subscribe, share this video with a few of your friends, anyone you know who would benefit. Make sure you visit my website. I have lots of freebies, a digital magazine download, as well as a couples vision board template. And my website is www.verlyntarlton.com. And that's V as in Victor, ERLYNTARLTON.com. Make sure you visit my website. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next week, may you experience extraordinary love.